It's a good day for a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's Cece Ray. Thanks for joining me here at Break the Dish, where we break the news and dish out the tea. We are recapping The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 17. It's been a long season. But breakers, before we get into it, let's just dish some tea a little bit. Now, this has nothing to do with Beverly Hills, mind you. What is going on in Atlanta? I mean, what is going on down there? So a few days ago, TMZ reported that Kim Zolciak, the Red Solo Cup herself, she is not allowed to see her children until she completes the rest of the court-ordered parent therapy sessions, which she has 4 more she has to attend. Now, what happened is Croy Bierman, her ex, filed court documents demanding that he has sole custody of their 4 children. He says that she missed these court-ordered therapy sessions. She's been out of the country for a couple weeks, and the only time that she saw the kids was only for one night. And during that one night, one of them got bit by a dog. Mm-hmm. Do I think he probably ran to that court? Yeah, probably, because these two have been petty with each other. But in reality, she was working. If I'm not mistaken, she's filming the same reality show that Margaret Josephs is filming. I believe it's for Amazon Prime. And so she was working. It's not like she was cruising around the world, vacationing, and forgot about her kids. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, she did know that, she was ordered to complete these parenting therapy sessions. So the court is saying that the earliest she'll be able to see her children is April 13th, and she won't be able to see them until she completes these 4 parenting therapy sessions. So that's Kim Zolciak's story. Okay. Now, TMZ also reported, get this, Drew Sidora. Drew. Now, I was dragging Drew a little bit on that recap, but hello, your mind is going to be blown with this. So remember her and her soon-to-be ex. I mean, they still aren't divorced yet. It's going on 3 years, right? He lives downstairs. She lives upstairs. Okay. Yeah, Ralph. He's in the basement. Well, things are about to change because TMZ is reporting that she has to move out of her home by May 31st. Mm-hmm. That beautiful Georgia mansion she has to move out of. And the court is stating it is due to current financial circumstances of the parties. Now, what does that mean? I mean, I wasn't in the court, but I'm thinking possibly, just possibly, that somebody was supposed to pay. I think both of them were supposed to probably split the bills, and somebody didn't pay. Just a possibility. However, whatever it was, she has to now leave and find a new place to live. But it gets even worse for Drew. So, she was the primary, she had primary custody of their children, but that is all changing. So now her and Ralph are going to share joint legal custody of the children, but Ralph has been awarded primary physical custody during the school year, and Drew will have to see her children every other weekend starting in August. Drew, girl, what is going on? You literally just lost custody of your children. Apparently, she has lost custody of her children because the children had excessive absences from school while they were in her custody. So the judge has awarded primary physical custody to Ralph. What is going on down there? Like, seriously. I mean, and Drew, hello. You're busy dragging all your castmates? Girl, you need to be thinking about what's going on inside your own world. You just lost custody of your children. You have to move out of your home by the end of May. What is going on, Drew? I'm just saying. What's going on in Atlanta? My goodness. It's getting a little crazy down there. But I thought I'd share the tidbit news there, just dish some tea for you all. But now we're going to get ready to recap The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 17. And before you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more tea or any more recaps. And let's get to it, shall we, breakers? We are recapping The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 17. We're picking it up right where we left off. It is Rachel's Studio 54 birthday party. And, all the ladies are showing up. Kyle and Sutton are there. And, of course, in the first 5 minutes, Kyle's got to drag Dorit. I mean, this has been the theme all season long, talking about how she's on this path of destruction and all of this stuff. And so, even Kyle and Sutton are talking about it, how it's not really appropriate to call a friend to see you next Tuesday. Erika's there. She's saying that she's going to give space to Dorit, that she really wants to take a step back and wonder if it's worth, salvaging that friendship, So now all the ladies are kind of gathering, almost like in one little area. And Sutton says to Dorit, have you spoken to Kyle? And Dorit says, no, I've had this intense week. And with the kids earlier when her and Boz were driving to the party, if you recall, she was explaining how, her children have been homeschooled for 5 years. And this year, they were transitioning to regular school, and one of her children had a huge meltdown when she went to pick them up, and they didn't feel like they fit in. I totally get this because I had homeschooled my kids, and it is a huge transition when they do go to school, So she's saying to Sutton that, that pretty much did it for her, and she wants to be in a better headspace before she speaks to Kyle. And Sutton says, well, maybe you could just say you're sorry for then, not talking to her all week. Dorit, I love an activated Dorit. She's like, I'm so glad that you have all these opinions of why do I have to apologize? I didn't get a call. And, now Rachel joins the conversation and she looks at Sutton. She's like, oh, you look serious. And Sutton's like, no, I'm just listening. And Dorit says to Rachel, well, Sutton here has all these opinions of how I should approach Kyle. And of course, Rachel's giving her whole like, no, we're going to have fun. You're going to have a drink. We're going to dance. You're going to have a good time. Like, that's your mission. That's your job, that type of thing. But in Dorit's confessional, she says, look, for the first time in probably like forever, her and Sutton were starting to build a friendship. And then she started talking behind her back. And now her desperate obsession to have Kyle's approval has ended that friendship. I have to agree with Dorit. I mean, this was a problem with Garcelle too, by the way, with Sutton. Sutton just always had this thing about Kyle where, she had to be friends with Kyle. She desperately wanted Kyle's approval. I totally get it. She's not off the mark there. But Sutton's expression, I mean, like she looked like she had just been smacked. And she says, this is like mean girl Dorit 101. She just wants to leave. Of course, Kyle's like, no, you can't leave. Well, of course, Kyle doesn't want her to leave. Who's going to do Kyle's dirty work for her? Seriously. So her and Kathy take her inside and they sit down to talk to her. And, and Sutton's explaining like, that really hurt her feelings. And, this has been, a big week. She had taken her son to college. This is her youngest one, so this is the last one to go. I totally get it. Totally. Kathy turns around and says, Sutton, you need to just go back out there and say, look, Dorit, you're not getting rid of me. She goes, that's what I love about Sutton Brown. She's like, now you walk back in there, So, they go outside and of course, here's Kyle stirring that pot. Sutton, you really should talk to Dorit. She just does not give up this season. But, so Sutton does, she goes up to Dorit. She says, Dorit, can I have a word with you? Well, apparently Dorit was talking to some woman. Dorit makes it so dramatic. She's like, I'm going to hate her forever from pulling me from this conversation. Just weird, right? And so Sutton says to Dorit, like, you're going to hate me? Dorit's like, I'm joking. Really, she's not really joking. And Sutton says, Dorit, I wanted to tell you, like, you really hurt my feelings. When Rachel came over, like, you acted as though I didn't exist. Dorit, I mean, she couldn't have said this more condescending to Sutton. She says, I apologize if I've hurt your feelings. And, but in Dorit's confessional, she says, look, as soon as Sutton said that I needed to apologize to Kyle, it was done. Done. She was done. I believe that. Listen, Dorit has had it with Kyle. You know what I'm saying? And Sutton's trying to like talk to Dorit and, Sutton's like, so because I'm telling you my opinion, and that was just enough for Dorit. Dorit was like, bye-bye. Bye-bye. And just walks away. And here's Sutton standing there. She's like, I just got shut down like twice. It's really crazy. And then so then Rachel goes on the microphone and she's saying thank you, for everybody coming and have a good time and everything. And next minute, God love Jennifer Tilly. She goes jumping in the pool, like out of nowhere, Well, what I loved was that Rachel's son jumped in the pool too. It was so cute. She has such adorable children. She really, really does. So now it's like the day after the party, and we see Sutton in her home, and she's talking to, she Zoom calls her mother, and she's telling her mom all about the trip from Italy and how there was a theater in this beautiful, beautiful place that they were staying at, and they actually had two tenors and a soprano like perform. And out of the blue, I'm not kidding you, Sutton's mother like breaks out into like an operatic song from Puccini. It was crazy. And I'm thinking, wow, Mama's not, she ain't shy of those cameras anymore, is she? But Sutton goes on to tell her, there's been a lot of drama, that Dorit just has not been nice all summer long. Her behavior has changed. And, Sutton's mother says, after your father died, I was upset. I was angry. And I think that's probably where Dorit is. And she said, she's going through these emotions, but she is not in touch with how she's, coming across to other people. While Sutton is like, uh-huh. And Sutton continues on and says to her mother, like, well, she was short with me and it hurt my feelings. And Sutton's mom is like, are you that shallow? Like, are you shallow? Sutton's like, what? And then Sutton starts saying, look, she didn't ask anything about me. Like, I just had a son that just moved to college. She never asked me anything about, that. And she says, now she's supposed to go to this launch party, which is supposed to be like a cover release party for her memoir book that she's writing. And she doesn't really want to go, and her mother's like, then don't go. Then don't go, But Sutton was also saying that it is difficult, that she hasn't really been in the quiet, being an empty nester, because now no one's in the home. I totally understand this. I mean, I've got one more left. But I mean, I still cry when the kids go back to college, like just from visiting. Like, I'm not kidding. I mean, it is hard. It is so hard. And there is nothing that prepares you. You think, okay, I've been through this before. I should be better with the next child. I'm better with the next child. No, at least for me. No, not better. Not at all. And then we see Erika. She's visiting Rachel at her home, and Erika said, did you have fun at your party? She's like, yeah, I had a blast. She said, I was looking out and saw all these different people there and all my friends, and she said, I was thinking to myself, wow, how lucky I am. And Erika says, no, it's because you're a good friend. And she says, you've been a really good friend to Dorit, a very understanding friend. And Rachel says, I know you all are talking about her shopping and spending, and, I just don't see a problem in it. And Erika's like, well, when you get separated, the first thing everybody thinks is money, which is true. And Rachel explains, you're right. It's just that my situation is different. She's always made her own money. This was never an issue between her and Roger. But she starts explaining how, look, I don't want to judge her for spending too much or her lateness. And Erika says, do you think her lateness is just a time management thing? Is it that she just doesn't care about anybody else? Is it that, she's just angry at everyone or thinks that everyone's out to get her? And Rachel says, well, maybe do you think it could be just that she's overwhelmed? And Erika says, listen, her marriage is falling apart. You know, of course she's overwhelmed with work, kids, everything. Of course she is. But in Erika's confessional, she also says, like, she sees fear in Dorit. The world is turned upside down for her. She's got legal issues. She's wondering, how am I going to pay for that? And PK has whipped her into a frenzy. And he loves it, which is so true. I mean, listen, he knows how to push Dorit's buttons, I'm sure. But so Rachel says to Erika, I want you to go to her, book launch party with me. But Erika was like, I'm not so sure about that. She says, look, she's expecting Kyle not to show, of course. She's like, but if you don't go, it will crush her. Erika says, well, I do need to call her. I'm just not going to not show up and not say anything that's not fair. And she says, but, immediately Dorit is going to accuse me of siding with Kyle. And Rachel says, yes, she will, for sure she will. And she will, of course, We then see Boz and her daughter. They're having a mommy-daughter date night. I love this. And so the hostess at the restaurant says, we have an area reserved just for you. Boz is like, oh, that's great. They open the door and long and behold, there is close family there and Keely there. And he gets down on one knee and finally asks Boz to marry him. Yay! Let's give them a round of applause. Good job, Keely. So they are finally engaged. They make a good couple. So that was a nice moment. Then we see Kyle at her house. They are coming into those last few days before her daughter's wedding. I know how this goes too. You've got last minute things going. You have like a whole list and you're trying to dot your I's and cross your T's. She's got her assistant there and she says to her assistant, I'm supposed to be going to Dorit's tonight for her, book launch party. And she says, but we're not even talking. Like, I don't want to go, And then in her confessional, she says, she has always, for the last 10 years, she has always stood up for Dorit, supported Dorit. I'm not quite sure about that. Just my opinion. And she says, but now, like, it's just not important anymore, Then we see Amanda. Gotta love Amanda with her husband. And she's talking about this party. And he says, basically, she goes, well, I have this dilemma. I don't know if I should go to this party. And he's like, is this Dorit's book launch party? And Amanda says, well, you actually have to write a book to have a book launch party. This is why people do not like Amanda. I mean, she is, and there was a term she was talking about with herself, like, oh, this is why I'm like this, baloney. But she said, this is more like I took a picture for the front cover party. No, she's not being rude, condescending. No, not Amanda. But she says, so I don't feel obligated to go. I really don't. She says, but I do believe in women supporting women. And, I'm going to go because I want this for her. Give me a break. Then we see Sutton in her home. She's calling Boz. You can see that Boz is in the car. And she says, "Where are you?" And Sutton says, "I'm at my house. I'm not going tonight." Mm-hmm. She says, "Listen, I don't like the way that I was spoken to. It was not nice the other night." She goes, "And I don't want this to sever our friendship." She says, "I've been working on myself, and I've been also not just doing that, but working on um, being non-reactive." She says, "And if I go, I'm afraid I'm going to be reactive." But Bose in her confessional was not having it. She was like, "Sutton, this is not a good move for you whatsoever." So we see Dorit now. She is walking into her party. She's excited. She's talking about how, she had a career way before PK. And now that it's after PK, she's got to go back into that workforce and make the ching-ching. You know what I mean? Rachel comes in and she says to Dorit, "Oh my gosh, my phone's been blowing up. I don't follow my ex on social media." Dorit's like, "What has he done?" Well, apparently Roger's new girlfriend, her birthday is the day before or the day after Rachel's birthday. And I love how she says to Dorit that on social media, he says, "Happy birthday to my love," which kind of got her. But I love when she says, "This Virgo wannabe designer, stylist," whatever she called her. Like, it was funny. I mean, it is kind of weird that it's the day after, but of course, probably half the people probably thought he was probably saying happy birthday to Rachel. Half the people knew that he was saying it to his new girlfriend out in social media for everybody to be able to read. I think her big thing isn't that it's, that he's got a girlfriend. I think it's that, she thinks about the kids, and if they see this or if one of their friends tells them about it, I think that's really the main concern. Even though I don't think they're together anymore, just saying. But so then, Jennifer Tilly arrives, Amanda arrives, Bose arrives, and Jennifer Tilly is talking to Dorit, and Dorit is saying to Jen that, "Listen, 3 of the girls aren't coming." Jen's like, "Well, I know Natalie's not going to be coming because she's sick." She's like, "Yeah, and Kyle's not coming." She goes, "And Sutton texted me 30 minutes after the party started to tell me she was not coming." And Jen was like, "I didn't think that you guys got into such a big, spat like that." But come on, Dorit. Like, is that really calling the kettle black or what? I mean, like, you've been late for like how many years? And this one time probably, Sutton is not up to etiquette standards and texts you 30 minutes after the party. She probably was avoiding it. She was probably procrastinating. It's not the position she probably wanted to be in, but she's trying to, like, in her mind, she's probably doing the right thing, but Bose is right. It's not going to go well for her. But what even goes even worse is the person that is now knocking on Sutton's door. Okay? Because we see when Sutton opens her door, who is standing there? Erika. Mm-hmm. And Sutton says, "We did not plan this. This was not planned out. We didn't." Well, somebody told, production that both of you were going to be there. I'm just saying. But that is where the episode ends. Yikes. So, what did you all think, Breakers? If you wanted to rate this episode, what would you rate it? I mean, we're coming off of Italy, which was pretty good. I mean, that last scene in Italy was pretty good. I don't know though. I would say maybe a 6. You know, it was just okay. It wasn't like anything spectacular. What did you guys think? Listen, I've said this before. I love an activated Dorit. I am here for it. Rumor has it that she had to get activated because she had already taken a pay cut, allegedly, and had to bring it in order to keep her job. And so there's that. But I do like that she's completely activated. I mean, she really has turned into this alcohol drinking, cigarette smoking, cursing, foul mouth, like completely bad attitude. And I really have been here for it. Is she dishing it out to maybe some people she shouldn't be dishing it out to? Possibly. But I also think that she's just had it with Kyle too. You know what I mean? I mean, this isn't just this season. This has been going on for how many seasons now? And this season, I said it before, like Kyle has been on a mission all season to paint Dorit into a corner and try to, create the narrative. And I just don't think it's working. I think because Dorit's so activated, it's not working. So I'm here for that. Sutton really hasn't brought that much to this season. And listen, she has brought it in the past. Everybody's allowed to have a season off. Sure, this can be Sutton's season off, but will she make it to next season? I don't know. I mean, she's been kind of like wah wah. I've enjoyed Boz. I think Rachel's a great addition. If I don't see Amanda on the screen again, I will not be insulted. But I think it's time for Kyle to go. Now, let me also tell you something. I don't know if this is true or not, but rumor has it that during the Ultimate Girls Trip, there was like this special like farewell to Kyle. I don't know where people are getting this from. Is it true? I don't know. We could only hope. That's just my opinion. But is she finally going to leave? Is she going to? I don't think she has to leave forever. I think she just needs to take a break. I think she needs a major pause. She hasn't shared for quite some time. She's really been hiding her whole life. Everybody knows it. And it's really an insult to all of the fans of Bravo because she thinks we're all stupid. Seriously. But we've seen her raise her family. But like I said, the last few years, we haven't gotten anything out of her, except for smoke and mirrors. That's basically about it. I don't know. Everyone says that Beverly Hills, the ratings are low. I could see it like this season. I mean, like I said, Rachel's been a really good, addition, but like they really got to pump it up. And I mean, look at Erika Jane. Nobody's talking about her situation. I mean, come this May, I think it's May 19th, actually. I mean, she's got that huge court case. I mean, like, hello. Nobody's talking about that. Matter of fact, mom's been the word for the last 2 years on her situation. You know, um, so I get it. I get it. It's been a rough season as a whole. What do you guys think? I love to keep this conversation going. Make sure you comment down below. And before you do, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish.